everybody, you're watching the Christiana321. I'm the Christiana, and we are recording. I pressed the button the first time. This time, we are now 3 months into 2023, which means it is time to check in on our priorities or goals or habits or whatever intentions we set for the year. If you've been on my channel for a while, you might remember at the beginning of the year we set some priority intentions for the year, and we're going to check in on those, and I encourage you to check in on yours. A lot of times when people make resolutions for the year, they don't usually make it past January, but now's a good time to re-up. You don't have to only do resolutions at the beginning of the year. You don't have to check in at the same regularity that I check in. I just find quarterly to be a good amount of time for me to see if my priorities actually line up with my values and what I have going on for the year. Sometimes life changes. Last year around this time I switched jobs, and so I had to change a lot of my priorities. But right now, I think we're gonna stick to the ones that we have on here. So let's see what is the best way to do this. This gonna be too close. Okay, so priority number 1 is school, and then after school getting my FE or my engineering training certification, whatever. So I wanted to get all A's. I got an A- in the one class that is finished. The other 2 classes are finishing this month, so we'll see. And then in May, I graduate, assuming I pass these 2 and I actually do my work instead of filming videos, because that's what I'm supposed to be working on right now. Oh well. Okay, so then, or I guess, so priority 2 will be the taking the FE when I get to it. Priority number 3 is cleaning my house. This one I didn't define super a lot, just because really any amount of effort towards cleaning was going to be better than what I was doing before. And month number 1, I got rid of, or I put away all of my Christmas decorations. This was January. Put away all my Christmas decorations, cleaned a part of my kitchen that I'd been avoiding. Month number 2, I don't even remember. I cleared out a good portion of stuff in my living room, I think. Did some laundry. I gave it an X because I did clean, but and then this, or not this month, March, which just ended, I started a new habit, I guess, of cleaning at least 10 minutes every day. And I started that at the end of the month, but it did yield good results on the days that I did the habit. We're going to try and be a little bit more consistent with it moving forward, but so I counted it. Number 4 was putting at least $1,000 per month towards debt and or extra savings, investing, whatever. So each month I did that. February I did, I think, $1,200 or so, and then March it was a lot easier because I got my company reimbursed me for the class that I had finished, and so just all of that went towards debt pretty much. And I still have some debt. I don't have any more high interest debt. I have a little bit, so I'm gonna pay that off, and then I'll only have my car debt, which is like 1.5% interest. So I think I will focus more heavily on saving, investing. I am not an investing person, so I'm not going to give any advice. Everything I know about investing comes from watching YouTube videos, but I think that I'm going to go for a mutual fund that is something like the S&P 500. I don't even know fully what that means, but I will find out and start putting money towards it. Alright, so then number 5 up here is read a book. Oh, I left my phone upstairs. So I write at least one book every month, which is the goal. I don't want to set it too high, but I finish at least one book a month. I think February it was 2, March it was at least 3, and I've actually already finished one for April. Today is April 2nd. I only had like 30 pages left of it. It was The Hunting Party. Depending on which of my videos you've seen before, if you've seen any, you may have heard me talking about it. The goal was to finish it on or around New Year's, and it's just taken me a long time. For whatever reason, I really don't know. Priority number 6 is spending at least one night away from where I live or from my boyfriend's house every month, and this has been, again, going perfectly well. I've spent at least one night away. I've got so much hot glue on this. Maybe that should be a priority, is cleaning that up. January we went to Orlando, if you saw that vlog. February I went to my like familial home in Georgia to celebrate my sister's what's it called? Baby shower. And then last month we went to Chicago for fun, and then also Chicago for work. This month the baby has been born, so I'm gonna go visit said child back in Georgia again. So far it's just been, well, I guess we did do Florida. So Florida, Georgia, Chicago, because I also went to Chicago in February. What did I have? No, okay, so it was Florida, Chicago, Georgia, Chicago. Now we're going back to Georgia. Need some variety in there. Maybe some places that I haven't been to before. Which actually May will be a new location for me. So I'm excited about that. And then number 7 is go to the gym. And they are bigger boxes because it's supposed to be go to the gym at least once a week. And this one, so I decided that even if I don't go to a physical gym, the place where I'm paying money every month to be a member, at least working out once a month, or once a week, I mean, I've been a little bit loose with that, and I want to get stricter, and I do want to actually use my gym membership or cancel it, find a new gym. I've been playing with some ideas with that, but that's for another video at another time. But yeah, so far I'm batting 1,000 on my priorities, partially because I was a little bit vague in how I defined the cleaning and the going to the gym. So I do want to focus more on those guys moving forward in really meeting the intent and creating good habits around those two. But again, both of those will be addressed in a later video. I'm not sure when that one's going to come out. Probably in May sometime, I'm guessing. But I did want to run some ideas past you guys. So priority number 1 is kind of getting replaced by priority number 2 once I graduate. Priority number 1, if you forgot, I don't know how well it's showing up on camera. It could be backwards for all I know. Priority number 1 is the earning all A's for my master's. And priority number 2 is passing the Fundamentals of Engineering exam, which is something that I need to do in order to get my engineering and training. But the priority is getting my engineering and training. One of the steps to that, the biggest step, is going to be passing the Fundamentals of Engineering exam, which is very difficult. But I have a lot of other ideas for my master's development, personal development. And I really want to know, what you guys think of these ideas, or if you guys have any other suggestions of things that I should consider, because I'm just going to keep making this list until I graduate, and I think I'm going to take like a month or so off from being productive with my spare time, and I think that's all it's going to take for me to get bored and need another project or another thing to be doing in my evenings besides watching TV and making YouTube videos is a lot of fun, but they will start to get real boring if I don't have anything else going on in my life. Alright, so number 1 is the FE exam. That's on my list here. It's on my list at work. That is one that is going to happen. I'm at least going to take it once this year. You know, if I don't pass, which I'm a little bit worried is too high of a probability at this point, then we'll figure out what to do next. The next one would be learn a language. I've tried this with various degrees of dedication in the past, but I'd like to do it with a little bit more dedication. The languages I've tried in the past have been Spanish, Chinese, and Italian. And really any of those 3 I would love to pick up again and try in earnest to keep up. The problem with Italian is I don't know anyone who speaks Italian, so it'll be difficult to practice outside of taking like language classes. Actually, I don't know if there's anybody in my life who speaks Chinese right now either, but that one I feel like will be a little bit easier to find someone. In Spanish, I know a lot of people who speak Spanish who like as their first language, so hopefully some of them, one of them, a couple of them wouldn't mind helping me out there. I have no desire to learn French, but other than that, if you have any fun languages that I could try and learn, let me know. I think some people in this area, in Wisconsin, there are indigenous tribes of people who speak the language of the tribe, so I think that could be interesting and fun to learn and everything, but I don't know how transferable of a skill that will be to other areas of my life. Spanish and Chinese, I think both of those would help me a lot in my career. Italian, less so, but it's still up there, and also then I won't feel as much of a loud, crazy American if I visit Italy one day. Visiting the Oneida tribe in Wisconsin, I don't think is going to be. I don't think that language barriers would be quite as prominent. Anyway, the next one would be selling those little felt creatures online, which I've made a few of them at this point. I'm not anywhere near the point where I believe people would pay money for it. Right now I'm still following the models. I've got this one that I don't have the bird with me at the moment, but getting good at those, which I want to do anyway because it's just fun. And then trying to see if I could sell them either online, or there are a few local shops that I think would welcome local artisan kind of things. I think that could be fun. Next one, I wouldn't be able to start this year, but start making my way towards a second master's degree. So the one that I'm doing is capstone project based. If I ever want to pursue a PhD, I would need to do a thesis based master's. Oh my gosh, words are difficult sometimes. I'm thirsty. So, what was I even saying? Oh, getting my second master's. Now, I'd have to be careful because a lot of times it depends on the school, it depends on different things, but from what I know, a lot of times they don't want you to get a second master's in the same field, I guess. So if you get a master's of science, they don't want you to get a second master's of science, but I'm getting a master's of engineering, so I could get a master's of science theoretically. But the problem's there's not a lot of colleges nearby here where I could take classes, and a lot of times the thesis options, they want you to be in person at least a little bit, which is crazy, like especially for the fields that I'm considering. But I make frequent trips to Chicago, and Chicago does have several universities that could be good. Also, I work completely remotely, so I could relocate to a college that I'm still doing night classes, but it wouldn't affect my ability to do my job that much. That's expensive though, so part of the prep for going towards my master's degree would be saving a lot of money, which I'm planning on doing anyway, so it works out, except that money was supposed to be going towards an early retirement, and so if I'm trying to get a second master's unless the school or my job is paying for it, it's gonna be expensive. Then I've got 3 that are physical based, physical health kind of ones. So one of them is getting back into bar, which is kind of like a ballet based high intensity training where you do a lot of exercises that are based on very specific muscle groups, but it's largely body weight exercises. I used to do this a lot before I moved to Wisconsin, and I loved it. I really enjoyed it. But the main bar gym place that I found around here is over $100 a month, and I don't feel comfortable justifying that at this point. But after I've graduated and I have more free time in the evenings where I can like I see myself going to the bar gym a couple of times a week, it's still a lot of money. I make a lot of money, and like it shouldn't be that bad, especially when it comes to my physical health, but also it's expensive anyway. So I'm not sure on that one yet. I would like to be the person that goes, twice a week, 3 times a week to bar, and it's just part of my normal routine, but I don't know if I'm there yet. We'll see. Then train to run a marathon. This has been a goal of mine for a long time. When I was young, teenager, my goal was to run a marathon before I turned 26, because 26-mile race before you turn 26, whatever, did not happen. Then there was a while where I was training, and I had it spaced out where I would do a 5K race, and then I would train and do a 10K race, and train and do a half marathon, train and do a marathon, and I'd get there within like a year. After I did the 5K, actually before I did the 5K, I really fell off the training plan. So my 5K was real bad, but I just didn't have the motivation to do anymore. And that's on me. But I still would like to accomplish that. And then getting back into yoga. So the gym that I went to that I did bar also did yoga classes, and those were like my 2 things. I would kind of alternate. I did a lot more of the yoga. I really enjoyed it. So getting back into yoga and maybe pursuing getting a yoga instructor certification. I'm so far out of practice of doing yoga that I would need to get back into the practice for a while, and then I could start looking at the potential of becoming an instructor. You might notice a few of these are centered around me bringing in a second income. And it's not that I have a bad income now, I've got a great income now. I just like the idea of multiple streams of income where you're not so dependent on one particular job. I love my job, so I'm not worried about it now, but it is a thing in the back of my mind, you know? And then the last two I have on my list is write a book, fiction or nonfiction. I've had ideas for both, and I've just always had excuses of not having enough time for it. Well, once I'm done with school, I will have a lot of time on my plate, you know? So I could work on that. Then the last one I think is gonna happen. I think we all know it's gonna happen no matter what, is just read everything. I've got so many books on my TBR, and last year in between semesters I did a reading challenge, and so I think I'm going to do a reading challenge this year as well after I'm done with my classes and the time between that and actual graduation. We'll see. If you have any ideas of what reading challenge you'd like to see, let me know. But yeah, so those are my ideas. Man, that part of the video was just as long as the priority part. But so what do you think I should try and do? Or, you know, if you just all of a sudden got an extra 20 hours a week added back into your schedule, what would you do with it? I get bored so easily, and then when I'm bored I fall into bad habits, and I don't want to do that. I want to preemptively come up with a plan, because yes, I'm going to let myself be lazy for an amount of time. I have an idea of what that amount of time is going to be, but I might need to shorten it. Just so I finished classes April 20th-ish. I think my final paper might be whatever, April 20th-ish, and then June 23rd is the Taylor Swift concert. So tentatively I'm saying from there to there I'm just gonna do whatever I want, not focus on a particular goal. You know, maybe I do some reading challenges or different physical challenges, but not specifically towards, you know, long-term goal, just living life, if you will. And then after that I need to pick a few of these, or at least one of these, to really focus on. Like I said, the Fundamentals of Engineering exam is going to be on there, but what else? Because I don't think that I'm going to do that 20 hours a week for the rest of the year. What should I do? Let me know. And yeah, how are your priorities for the year going? Your habits, resolutions, whatever you want to call them. Are you happy with your progress, or do you need to revamp, restart on some of them? Or changing seasons. That's also a great time to, you know, start resetting some priorities. So let me know, and I'll see you next week with a very exciting a very exciting special guest. Can you guess who it's gonna be? I really only have, I think, one special guest ever on this channel, so who knows? Good night, sweet dreams.